If you've had any experience playing Tekken 8 since its release, I'm sure there's one character you've become all too familiar with. One character you just can't stop seeing in ranked, and can't stop losing to. Let's be honest, as balanced as we like to say Tekken 8 is, not all characters are made equally here. There's a group of characters who have consistently remained above all the rest since the game's launch in January. And of those characters, one singular man has stood on top. Yeah, I'm talking about the undisputed king of Tekken 8. No, not that king. I'm talking about this king. Dragunov has consistently sat at the very top of the tier list for the game's entire duration, and has been absolutely everywhere. He is by far the most popular character in competitive play, with him, as of a few months ago, having over 20 placements in the top 8 at large Tekken offline tournaments. 8 places higher than the follow-up character, Shaheen, and double the amount of top 8 placements as Jin. This is crazy, to say the least. The amount of dominance this character has seen throughout the short lifetime of Tekken 8 is absolutely incredible. But it goes further than just tournaments and competitive play. He's consistently been one of the most popular characters in all levels of play, with him actually being the #1 most played character at the game's launch. Yeah, not Jin, not Kazuya Mishima, Dragunov. Over time, he's gone back and forth fighting with other characters, but has remained the most popular character in high ranks, that being Tekken God and above, by a substantial amount. Dragunov is everywhere, and is the definitive, if you want to win, play me character in Tekken 8. But how did we get here? How did we go from Dragunov being considered one of the worst characters back in Tekken 7, to now being the undisputed best in Tekken 8? What makes him so broken? I mean, he's been nerfed multiple times, right? How is he still the best? And finally, why does everyone play this guy now? I decided to find the answer to these questions, and after extensive research, and spamming Sneak for way too much in ranked, I think I figured it out. So let's talk about it. Dragunov was a low tier in Tekken 7. He struggled a lot, and was almost never seen in pro play because of this. The character really just didn't work. He revolved around having incredible power mids and highs, but weak tracking and weak lows. Sounds like a fine trade-off, right? Until you realize that almost all of his mids had ridiculously high hitboxes, and as such would whiff if your moves even had the smallest bit of evasion. Definitely not good for the character, and he was also very easy to sidestep. Combine this with his only low back then being down 2, the hatchet kick was added in Tekken 8, and keep in mind this was a significantly weaker version of Dragunov's down 2, and it's easy to see why he struggled so much in Tekken 7. So what did Namco decide to do for Tekken 8? Well, they fixed all of this. When the game first launched, Dragunov was an entirely different beast. He had the highest damage output of any character in the entire game, and not just by a little bit, by a substantial amount. If he hit you with a counter hit, you were getting carried to the wall from literally anywhere on the stage, and thanks to his new wall ender, his wall running 4, you would be taking around 120 damage consistently. He was given a brand new, incredibly heavy hitting low with his new hatchet kick that gave an absurd +7 on hits. +7. The new full crouch down forward 1-4 was also a very good low for him, complementing his classic rushdown, momentum-based playstyle so well. His iconic wall running 2 was stronger than ever, having a new blue spark variant, better tracking than it had before, and of course still giving the iconic huge plus frames on block, and now death combo on counter hits. Oh, and I'm not done, we're still going. He was given a tool through his Sneak Stance 4 option, being one of, if not the best moves in the game. This is a move with infinite range, it gave +7 on block, heat engager, hits grounded, and is a full launcher with a heat dash. Absolutely ridiculous move. Back then, you could play Dragunov with just the moves I've mentioned so far and see incredible success with the character. They were just that strong. Combine these moves with his incredibly long limbs, excellent poking, excellent movement, and oh yeah, did I mention his damage because oh my god, his damage is still ridiculous. He also benefited from throws more than almost any other character. Okay, maybe not more than the actual king, but it was pretty close. When the game first launched, throws were absolutely broken. They all had full tracking and were basically unbreakable on counter hit, essentially giving every character an instant fully tracking 12-frame counter hit tool. And Dragunov, of course, has one of the best throw games out of any other character. He has all 3 different throw breaks to keep mixing up the opponent, and his iconic up forward 1+2 throw actually initially gave him a guaranteed back 4 follow-up into crazy setups. Just insane for a character to have all of this. His heat was strong, giving access to tons of feints and tackles to keep his opponent guessing, and his heat smash was very strong. Sorry to quickly interrupt, but this video is brought to you by Uber Eats. I'm sure you guys all know about Uber Eats. They're the premier online food ordering and delivery platform, and is an absolute lifesaver for me. Sometimes when I'm grinding Tekken ranked, I don't want to leave the house for food. I just want my favorite foods to come straight to me, and that's what Uber Eats is all about. They've given me a special deal just for you guys. You can use the code BOOGARD15 to get $15 off your first $20 order, or click the link in the description. You save money while also directly supporting the channel. What's not to like, right? So make sure to check out the link in the description and use my promo code for big savings. Thanks to Uber Eats for sponsoring the video, and let's get back to it. This was a character with absolutely no weakness. The only advice to counter this character that carried over from Tekken 7 was to try and sidestep him, but this was not only made harder to do because pretty much all of his tools had gotten better tracking, but was also in general a bad idea just because of how often people were using throws to beat sidesteps when the game first launched. Dragunov was agreed upon to be the best character in the game for the first few months, with many people actually putting him in a tier of his own. That's how strong he was. This continued for a while, with him again absolutely dominating the competitive scene, until May of 2024, where he received his first major nerfs. Almost every tool he had got its damage significantly reduced, serving to tone down his biggest issue, that being his insane combo damage. All of his key tools were nerfed as well. His while running 2 was changed from +6 on block to +4, the broken hatchet kick was made far easier to launch punish and lost 4+ frames on hit, his wall combo was nerfed, the guaranteed follow-up off of the throw was nerfed. It seemed like things were going in the right direction, and for a couple of weeks, most people thought the Dragunov problem was solved. He went down on tier lists, and his play rates went down a little as well, until it all came right back up again. It didn't take long for people to realize, oh, wait a second, this character, despite all the nerfs, is still ludicrously strong. Maybe it was because many other characters were being nerfed, maybe it was because of the huge defensive patch that indirectly nerfed even more characters, but Dragunov really did not stay down for long. His play rates went up again, and he continued to dominate offline tournaments. I think people just realized after the hype of him being nerfed had died down, just how strong he still was despite these many nerfs. Sure, his damage was toned down, it wasn't completely broken now, but it was still some of the highest damage in the game. His pressure wasn't as oppressive as it was, but he still had some of the best tools in the game. While running 2 was still great, quarter circle forward 4 is and remains to be today arguably the best move in the game, and down 2 and a hatchet were still strong. He still has amazing poking, a full throw game, he still has good heat utility, very good strings, great 50/50s and stance pressure, and he's still Dragunov, the character with a tool for every single situation. Not much has really changed here. And this brings us to current day. He's back to being seen as the best character in the game by a large majority of pro players. Arslan Ash still believes Dragunov deserves to be in a tier of his own, while most others put him as the #1 character, or in some cases the #2 or 3 character. But the data doesn't lie here. This guy is the consistently best performing character in all of Tekken 8, and he always has been, even after he got nerfed during the times people were saying he was weaker now. There's been ups and downs, but it's always been him. He is the king of Tekken 8. If you want to win more and give yourself the best chances, this is the character to play. He's relatively easy to pick up, and in my opinion currently offers the best reward ratio of your time if you decide to pick him up. A lot of people in the Tekken community look down upon what they call tier pickers, people who only play characters because of how strong they are. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't see any problem with this whatsoever. If you're serious about the game and serious about being a competitor, then why wouldn't you give yourself the best chances of winning and take all the tools you can get? Even if you aren't as serious but just want to win and achieve a high rank, that's fully within your right to do. Sure, you'll probably miss out on some of the feelings of more long-term fulfillment that you can only really get by being super loyal to the one character you love, but if you don't care about that, then go for it. I've definitely had times where I thought about picking this guy up, and if not for Heihachi's release, I probably would have done it. Unfortunately for the White Angel of Death, however, Heihachi currently has my undivided love and loyalty. But don't worry, you'll be hearing about that soon in the Heihachi video. Dragunov has continued to shape the Tekken 8 meta, and he isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Get ready to see this guy a lot more throughout the life of the game. Dragunov is Tekken 8, and for all the Dragunov players who suffered with him in Tekken 7, I'm glad you guys are finally on top now. You deserve this. And that's about all I've got for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about Dragunov in this game, and which character you want to see me cover next. If you guys enjoyed and want to see more scripted Tekken 8 content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel, and also join my Discord server to chat with me and other Tekken players. The link's in the description and the pinned comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, a big thanks to my YouTube and Patreon patrons. Your support really means the world to me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.